desperate with life and so desperate with success and so desperate with getting the next thing that you simply forgot everything that God has spoken over your life, and now you're willing to settle for the one thing that you said you'll never do again? Wow. Are you remembering or are you regretting? Because if it's not on the tables of your hearts when life hits you and you have not counted it as all joy, I promise you, you'll start regretting it versus remembering it. Amen. That's number one. Number two. Amen. Are you trusting the process, and are you focusing on consistency, or are you focused on completion? Are you focusing on consistency, or are you focused on completion? Proverbs 3:2 says this. He says, "For there will be long life and many years and peace and prosperity." I believe what he's saying. That he's saying that if you can look at the every single day life and be consistent, see, not looking at completion, he said there will be long life and prosperity added to you. But it's not because you have said, God, I'm ready for it to be done, but it's saying, God, I'm willing to take one step forward. One step forward. One step forward. See, anybody like even when I run, hey, I'm going to run 4 miles today. And when I go run, cause I'm just saying by this summer I'm gonna, if church planning don't work out for me, you guys, I'm probably gonna apply for a house tomorrow, and so that's why I gotta make sure I run my 4 miles. So I'm just saying so if you see me in the summertime, it's probably because church planning didn't work for me. And so every time I run my 4 miles, I'm never looking at the 4-mile marker. I'm looking at, okay, let me just get a 10th. Let me just get a 10th. Let me get a 10th. Let me get a 10th. And before I know it, it added up to 1 mile. And I said, all right, let me get a 10th. And let me get a 10th. And let me get another 10th. And before I know it, I'm at 3 miles. And now I'm like, man, look at what I did when I really didn't even feel like doing it in the beginning. Anybody ever felt like that? Yeah. It's like, yo, when you go to the gym and it's like, man, after I really got into it, it really wasn't that hard. It really wasn't that bad. But in the beginning, when I was thinking about the completion of what I had to do, it seemed so much harder. I'll give you another analogy. See, I think that so many times in life, we are looking for a Hail Mary and missing just getting first downs. See, no football team goes in and says, every single play, I'm going to get a touchdown. But what they do say is, every single play, we're going to move the ball forward. That's right. And so in your ministry, in your life, in your marriage, in your family, in your business, don't look for the home run. Don't look for the touchdown. Just say, God, how can I move a little forward? I'm not looking at the completion, because completion is the touchdown. But I just want consistency and say, well, how can I on first down get 3 yards? How on second down can I get 5 yards? And how on third down can I pick up the rest of it? And before I know it, every single day I'm waking up and seeing a new first down and not looking at the touchdown. Amen. Solomon says, listen, if you're going to trust the process, you got to ask yourself, are you looking at completion, or are you looking at consistency? Consistency. Number 3, if you're going to trust the process and really become focused in the season, you got to ask yourself, are you finding or are you becoming? Are you finding or are you becoming? Are you finding or are you becoming? Like my son, everywhere we go, he has to take cars with him. Like every single morning, I gotta pat him down because now he's at a place where he's sneaking them to school. Anybody got kids that they sneak cars in their pocket to school? Every morning, I gotta pat my son down like he just stole something. Come on, Aiden, it's 2 cars in your pocket. And it never fails me that we can get all the way out the house to school and he got one in his sock. What in the world? Where did that come from? But do you know what my son loves more than the cars that he has? Does anyone know what he loves more than the cars that he has right now? It's a new car. It's a car that he doesn't currently have. He always say, listen, how can I find something new versus being thankful for what I have?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question today? Are you becoming who God has called you to be? Or are you trying to find the next best thing? Like, are you trying to connect to the next best thing? Are you trying to figure out what's the next big thing? Are you trying to see what's the next big movement versus saying, God, how can I be still and become who you called me to be?
That's right.
See, can I give you relationship 101 real quick? See, the problem is that many of us are trying to find the right person versus becoming the right person.
That is right, sir.
And as long as you are saying, God, how can I find Miss Right? Or how can I find Mr. Right? You are missing the most important ingredients. It's becoming Mr. Right. It's becoming Miss Right. And as long as you don't become who God has called you to be, you can never find who God has called you to be with.
That's right.
Are you finding or are you becoming? Because as long as you are trying to find, you'll never become. See, my dad told me this a long time ago, 2 halves don't make a half. 2 halves make a half. And 2 whole people make a whole person. And the problem is that many of us are trying to find another half and we have never became whole.
Come on now.
Are you finding or are you becoming? Number 4, if you want to trust the process, you got to ask yourself, are you talking or are you listening? Man, like I told you, I suffer and struggle with ADD. Like my mind is always like a million things at one time. Has anybody ever sat with someone and talked to them for 30 minutes and you got what they said in the first minute? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Like they've been talking and you like, dog, I got it. Like you, and then this is the funny part for me is that once they finish, you have forgot what they said in the first minute. Yeah. The point that you really got. You know what I'm talking about? It's like they said all of that. And it's like, I got you, man. Yeah, I got you. I'm right here. What are we talking about again? Like, and so then they end up having to repeat the whole thing again. And then they take another 30 minutes of your life. Like, I'm like, dog, you just wasted 58 minutes of my life. And I got everything you said in the first minute. Like, we could have stopped talking after that. Like, I already got it. Can I ask you a question? Like, are you talking too much or are you listening to the voice of God? See, Proverbs says this. He says, in all of my ways, I will acknowledge you. Basically, what he's saying is that whenever I'm getting ready to do something, I'll shut up and I'll let you speak.
Come on now.
See, when I'm getting ready to take the next step, I'm not going to say, God, God, what are you saying?
That's right.
God, like before I even make a move, I'm saying, let me shut my mouth so I can hear what God is speaking.
Amen. Yeah.
See, I think that so many of us are asking God what we should do, but we're not shutting up long enough so that he can tell us what we should do.
Amen.
And so we just keep talking and keep talking. And did you know what after you talk for a long period of time, your voice starts sounding like the voice of God? Did anybody know that before? Like you can talk yourself into doing the thing. Like anybody, don't raise your hand, raise your heart. Like you know the thing is wrong, but you said it so many times that you have rehearsed it so many times, that you have justified it so many times, that a voice in your head somehow told you that was right, and then you justified that voice as the voice of God, but it was simply because you didn't want to shut up, and because you didn't want to shut up, now the voice that was once God has been dummied down by the voice that you only want to hear.
Amen.
Are you listening or are you talking? I'm out of here. Last one, number 5. If you're going to trust the process, Like, are you looking at what's not or what you got? If you're going to trust the process, are you looking at what's not versus what you got? Travis, can you make me sound spiritual? I'm telling you, like when people play, it makes you sound spiritual. So everything I say now after this is going to be like, man, that sounds like from God. Y'all don't believe it? Okay. Don't believe me when I say it. So listen. When God is beginning to look at our lives and we're trusting the process, we got to look at not what we don't have, but what we got. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing again and watch. It's gonna sound super deep now. Go ahead, Travis. Give me a little bit more value. See, when we trust the process, God is looking at us and asking us the question. You feel the difference? And not what you don't have, but what you got. Like, can I tell you, church planning has been one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Hardest thing I ever, like people come to me, like we got church planners that are joining and coming to us now, and they're like, man, I want to do it. I'm like, dog, like, you probably should go kill yourself. It will be a lot easier. Like what? Like I'm joking with you, but like really, like it's that hard. They're like, no, man. I'm like, it is. Like, it's not what it looks like. Like, it's hard freaking work. Like, I joke with a couple of my mentors, and I'm like, and they tell me the same thing. Like, I quit every single Monday. Like Monday, like tomorrow Sunday, like I probably will be writing my resignation letter like right after church Sunday. I'm like, you know what? I can't stand these people. Like I'm not gonna be like Moses. Like I'm not gonna strike a rock. I'm probably gonna strike them. Like Moses hit a rock. I'm like, I'm pretty close to hitting them. Every single week, I'm like, God, I quit. But every single week, my mentors will sit me down and they'll remind me of what a connection card said. My mentors will sit me down because what we do, we take connection cards and people will give us their feedback of why they came to B3 and what they loved. And can I tell you, there's not, and like I promise it's not me boasting, there's not one bad thing that we've ever heard. People are like, man, I see it. I see God moving. I see the signs. I see what you're doing. Like, man, like I know people that are 20 years and they aren't even close to what you guys have even cracked the surface to do. Like, man, like when I see how you guys streamline things and how you communicate and how you connect and how you do this, man, I'm telling you, you guys got it. And then I go on ESPN Reel called Facebook. And I see a friend that just baptized 1,000 people. And I'm like, really? Like I'm trying to get 1,000 people in the building, and on one single day, you baptize 1,000 people? Like, God, you don't love me. You don't even love me, God. But then God began to remind me. He says, see, you're looking at what you don't have and missing what you do have. Can I share a story that God has done for B3, things that he's done for us? See, that there was a time when I felt God moving us, and I said, God, we got to move from where we are. I believe God has called us to this place, and I believe that God has transitioned us to another location. And we looked at the numbers, and it was going to cost us $70,000 to move. $70,000. I stood before the people and I said, listen, you guys, God is calling us to move. And we got $1,000 in the bank account. We got 3 months to move. I believe God is telling us to do it. I said, I want all of us to step up. I'm challenging each one of us to step up. The first month went by. We had $1,500 in the bank account. So that leaves us about 60,000, about 60,000 away from what we needed. Month 2 went by. We got another 1,000. Come on, God, I'm about to look like a fool. Like I stood before these people when I said that. I had a conference that I was getting ready to go to. And I prayed to God and says, God, like if you, like I'll believe.